Hi everybody, I'm Tony, and I'm here today to talk about what's next for Foundation. So first, I'd like to talk about how we started. So from the beginning of Swift's life as an open source project, we knew that we would need low-level libraries to go with it. The standard library is the most obvious one, but apps also need features like URLs, JSON, data, etc. And so to bootstrap, we introduced the Swift Core Libs Foundation project, alongside Swift 3.0 in the fall of 2016. Its structure was designed to get us going quickly. It uses the open source C implementation of Core Foundation and wraps it with a layer of Swift. On Darwin platforms, we wrap Core Foundation with Objective-C and then add Swift API on top of that. So despite the shared Core Foundation base, much of the code is a fork. Now, it's hard to believe, but it's been a full 6 years since we launched this library, and things in Swift have changed just a little bit since then. So we've seen an amazing response from the community, finding and fixing bugs, porting Foundation to many platforms, and implementing missing functionality. Today, we find Foundation in everything from single-board computers to web browsers. So let's talk about what's next. We're developing a new foundation for Swift. This foundation is a modern, unified implementation, and it will be the core foundation on all platforms. This new Swift API will be implemented once and available on every platform together. We're writing it in Swift, we're developing it as a package, and we're doing it all in open source. So what we're talking about today is great, thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited too. So what we're talking about today, though, is the beginning of this process. So I'd like to lay out a vision for where we see this project going and talk about what's next. So first, parity. So as a unified project, we can use the same Swift code for all platforms. So the first thing we're doing is we're re-implementing the most important parts of Foundation in Swift. Using Swift instead of C leads to a safer, more performant, higher quality library. With the Swift implementation, we can share the same code for all platforms. The same code running on over 1 billion active devices and your server-side apps leads to no compromises in quality and no compromises on quality or performance and immediate parity for new Swift API. Finally, to support all of our existing Objective-C and C code on Darwin, we introduce a compatibility layer on top of the Swift. Second is performance. So we've heard from many of you that binary size is extremely important, and Foundation's use of ICU brings in a dependency that isn't always necessary. So we are now providing a Foundation Essentials module for server-side apps. Essentials provides the most important types in Foundation using no system dependencies. A new Foundation Internationalization module will provide API which relies on ICU for when you're working with formatted dates, times, and other localized content. Other modules provide XML and networking, we have those today, and then a new compatibility module to hold API that is mostly useful for compatibility with Objective-C code bases. And finally, you can still just import Foundation to get everything all together. In addition to size, we are also focusing on other aspects of performance. Our new Swift implementation of Calendar, for example, is 1.5 to 18 times as fast as the C implementation. And early benchmarks from an improved JSON decoder are 1.8 to 3 times as fast on Linux. And with the shared implementation, all these platforms improve together. Finally, and most importantly, is community. So the new package is open source first. Development will be done in the open on GitHub and in the Swift forums. Unifying our implementation in Swift means that we can collaborate with our peers across the Swift community. We will also develop a process for the community to add new APIs to Foundation on all platforms. We're launching on GitHub in 2023, and we are starting discussions about our plans now on the Swift forums. As I mentioned, we're at the beginning of this project, so we want your help and feedback to help make it a reality. I look forward to collaborating with all of you on this exciting project. Thank you.